you have this formally, this mathematical solution, which has a black hole and a white hole, and a wormhole connecting them. Is that information somehow imprinted in the Hawking radiation?
Caution. A collision is about to happen. Anomalies related to gravity were found. We're getting close to the XYO black hole for gravitational support, Captain, but we're moving too fast. Shall we take a different route? No. Remain steady. Go ahead with full speed. The existence of these strange items is astounding. Black holes, invisible cosmic monsters, push the boundaries of our knowledge of physics. They are gravitational giants that are so dense that nothing can evade them, not even light. They have the ability to stealthily ingest stars and distort space and time. In an effort to discover the mysteries at their heart, scientists have spent decades researching their nature. However, black holes continue to be one of the universe's greatest mysteries in spite of our advancements. What is a black hole, then? Einstein's general theory of relativity explains them. Einstein's theory is distorted by them. There are distortions in spacetime, and they are so severe that light cannot escape from one area of this spacetime. The famous example is the collapse of a huge star, which basically occurred in 1916, just a few months after Einstein's general theory of relativity was published. Carl Schwarz demonstrated how time and space are warped outside of a perfectly round, non-spinning ball of matter. Thus, it is an answer to Einstein's equations. Thus, it provides you with the distortion of space-time outside a star using a basic star model. It turns out that you can describe a black hole in those calculations if you just remove the star while keeping the distortion and leaving the mathematics in place. It is present in the mathematics from 1916, so they are very natural in that sense. Moreover, if you allow this solution to go indefinitely far into the past, you just have this. You kind of continue it into the past, and you get a description that is not only a black hole, but a wormhole with a black hole in two universes and a white hole on one. Given its capacity for existence, does nature produce such things? Is nature capable of doing it? And it continued to be the argument far into the 1930s. Thus, Einstein and Rosen's renowned article, Einstein and Rosen Bridge, is correct. A wormhole is what it is. It's the 1930s. Thus, they are examining the mathematics and observing these spacetime geometries. But is it possible to produce them? And shortly before World War II, Oppenheimer and Schneider published a well-known article demonstrating that under specific conditions, a star with enough mass will collapse indefinitely toward the conclusion of its existence. Nothing will stop the collapse once the star begins to collapse, and there is no more nuclear fuel. I believe there are two limits for neutron stars, the Candra limit and the Oppenheimer-Tolman limit. If they are exceeded, however, nothing will stop the collapse, so you get this geometry. There is a lovely model of it that is a rewrite of those equations called the river model of a black hole, and I really like it. Can you tell me what this geometry is? This peculiar geometry traps light. The equation may be rewritten to allow you to visualize space as flowing, heading in the direction of or into this object, let's say this black hole. You can also see that the river of space is rushing inward at the speed of light in an area of space that surrounds this collapsing star. We refer to that line as the black hole's event horizon. However, the river model is useful since it makes it clear why objects can't escape due to its rapid flow. Once inside, it moves faster than light. Thus, you can see that a photon, or light ray, is, let's say, emitted forth on the horizon as if it were coming from a river. It reminds you of a fish swimming in a river. The fish just remains there if the river is flowing inward at the same pace as it can swim. Isn't that correct? The horizon is frozen, yet it is swimming as quickly as it can. It's a stunning illustration of what happens to light. Thus, light appears to be stuck on the horizon. You are being carried inward by everything you do as the river of space moves at the speed of light. You're heading in this direction. It's time for the singularity. However, there is, I believe, a more pleasant way to see it. Therefore, the singularity is described as a moment in time rather than a location in space in any general relativity textbook. You can really see it if you construct these lovely maps known as Penrose diagrams, which is how it sort of looks. However, that was in the 1960s. So many people were perplexed by this. However, how is the singularity a point in time? The geometry is such that the singularity is in your future once you've passed the horizon. Therefore, you cannot avoid it, and it is a part of your future. And what exactly is such a thing? That would imply that tomorrow is a thing for us. We will be unable to avoid it in the future. No matter what we do or how we move, tomorrow is coming. In this way, you could claim that time and space have gotten so warped that they have switched places. You have all of this mathematical information about the non-spinning black hole in 1916. Roy Kerr discovered the spinning solution in the 1960s. Although it's far more intricate, the fundamental concept existed in 1916, but the majority of physicists believed they wouldn't form. Roger Penrose was the one who finally shown that they would reform in the 1960s, and we currently have extremely solid proof that they do exist, as often Hammermer Schneider had shown. Therefore, we have extremely solid evidence of the Milky Way's core from the way stars revolve around Sagittarius. The star in question is a super-enormous black hole, for which a few years ago the Nobel Prize was given. However, we now have 2 radio telescope photos of Sagittarius black holes, of course. There is a star in our galaxy and the massive M87 black hole in the Messier 87 galaxy. That one's mass is almost 6 billion times that of the Sun. Thus, these things are real. The lengthy response to your brief inquiry is that there are variations in the geometries of space and time that were foreseen shortly after Einstein's theory was published and that we now know to exist, and they essentially trap light. After that, we discuss what occurs when quantum mechanics is introduced. However, we have currently finished the general relativity portion. This time, Captain, things didn't go as planned, did it? Yes, but this animal is distinct. This is the very enormous black hole known as Sagittarius AAR. Launch the beacon now. What the almost every galaxy, including our own, has an unthinkable titan in its core, a black hole that is extremely large. These enormous beings, who have millions or even billions of times the mass of our Sun, control entire galaxies and direct the movements of billions of stars. They can light up galaxies from within, spit strong jets of radiation over millions of light years, and influence cosmic development. Despite their strength and influence, their origins are still unknown. How are really big black holes created? They most likely developed via direct collapse of matter soon after the Great Bang, not quite a long time later, but they basically collapsed directly, in my opinion. The alternative would be a merging of some sort between several black holes created by star collapse. I believe this since the study is up to date. According to current knowledge, they most likely created via direct collapse. The concept of how those early galaxies originate and how their central black holes form is still incomplete. How they contribute to the creation of galaxies. That's not really understood, I guess. It's fascinating. We created stuff like the James Webb for that reason, you know? We have envisioned what may occur if you fell into a black hole in innumerable science fiction tales. This dramatic event is sometimes portrayed in popular culture as being stretched into spaghetti-like strands, a phenomenon called spaghettification. However, very large black holes vary in a fascinating way. Some experts speculate that due to its enormous size, you may possibly cross their event horizon without experiencing any severe consequences right away. However, would you actually be able to live inside one of these cosmic giants for even a little period of time? Or would you unavoidably suffer the same strange destiny? A black hole with stellar mass. For example, these objects have 10, 20, or 30 times the mass of the Sun. The forces that raise the tides on Earth and in the seas are known as tidal gravitational forces, and they are far more powerful. Additionally, tiny black holes enlarge considerably before they ever reach the horizon. In contrast, Einstein's theory states that you may fall freely across the horizon of a very large, very gigantic black hole and see nothing at all. It wouldn't be until you were in the interior and getting close to the singularity that you would notice the tidal forces. And I stated that you will unavoidably reach the singularity once you exceed the horizon. Let's imagine that you get swept up in this river of space, or that you are heading to the singularity, which is in your future. Different images are identical, and you spend around a day in a very large black hole. After crossing the horizon, you should be fine for a day or so, depending on the mass, right? However, when you finally reach the singularity, you get stunned and sense the tidal forces compressed in one direction and stretched in another. After your atoms are torn apart, you reach the singularity where we don't know what will happen. It is the end of time, as I said in Einstein's hypothesis. It's not. We are very certain that, as demonstrated by Stephen Hawking in the 1970s, black holes radiate, lose energy, and eventually vanish over a very long period of time. They vanish into thin air. Therefore, since everything eventually returns to the cosmos, the end of time is not included. However, that's where things become intriguing. The amazing diversity and sizes of black holes is one of its most intriguing features. These enigmatic objects vary greatly in size, ranging from massive galactic centers to comparatively tiny star remnants only a few times the mass of our Sun. However, researchers have found far greater cases than anticipated. Some ultra-huge black holes are so massive that they defy our basic knowledge of physics, leaving us to wonder how they could possibly exist at all without disintegrating or upsetting their host galaxies. This astounding size makes us question how large black holes can really become. Therefore, how they originate in the early cosmos will eventually determine that. How much material might collapse into the monster, and how much was there? And in the end, it relates to variations in the universe's initial elements distribution. The so-called ripples that we observe in the cosmic microwave background radiation shortly after the Big Bang are most likely caused by quantum mechanical fluctuations that occurred during inflation, which occurred prior to the Great Bang. Therefore, the conditions that existed very soon after the Big Bang, you're probably referring to the notion of inflation at the time, and how those conditions led to the ripples becoming ingrained in the cosmos will ultimately determine the maximum mass of a black hole in our universe. However, as I mentioned before, we see them to be many billions of times the mass of the Sun. The concept that black holes may be portals to other universes, or perhaps the originators of new realities, is arguably the most astounding one. The circumstances within a black hole may resemble those of the Big Bang, the beginning of our universe, according to some physicists. This incredible idea creates a remarkable opportunity. Perhaps beyond an event horizon, our universe started off as a singularity inside a much wider cosmos. Is it possible that the universe in which we live is a component of a larger, unimaginably huge multiverse that exists within a black hole? Is it possible that a black hole might contain our whole universe? I don't believe so in the sense that I'm hesitant, since there have been historical observations on black holes, which were known as early as the 1970s, but Jacob Bekenstein demonstrated that it is possible to inquire about the information contained in a black hole. What happens to data that is entered? We do know, and this was a very early calculation, that the surface area of a black hole's event horizon, measured in square Planck lengths, equals the so-called entropy of a black hole, or the information it conceals. Thus, it's a fairly straightforward and intriguing observation. You may demonstrate it using a straightforward calculation, in fact, a back-of-the-envelope calculation, but what it really signifies is unclear. It is an illustration of what is known as holography, or the holographic principle, as it states that there is an area of space, and that whatever is contained within it is somehow imprinted on the boundaries around it. This system is described in two ways. It is suggested that this is how the cosmos is in its entirety. For instance, you may think about this room. We don't entirely grasp, in a way. Every element in this room has been described by a theory that permeates the space. In that regard, everything is comparable to a black hole, isn't it? However, it would probably be more accurate if you said that the black holes are the key to demonstrating to us that this is more generally true of the cosmos. Therefore, I doubt you could claim that we are all within a black hole. Not to mention that, as far as we can tell, Our universe is expanding faster than ever before and will continue to exist forever. Therefore, it doesn't appear to me that you could argue that as we sit here now, there is an end of time that is waiting for us somewhere in this universe, like within a black hole. I'm hesitant because, certain images seem to imply that these holographic concepts may at least be used more broadly. However, I wouldn't go so far as to suggest that we may be living within a black hole as we currently understand them.